see the role of social enterprise being having a link between the charitable sector, if you like, the voluntary sector and the business sector. So I think what it can do, it brings the disciplines from both those sectors together in the best way possible. So therefore I think it's an emerging sector which can use enterprise to the best and then create really effective, sustainable outcomes.
Well, for Glasgow Caledonian staff and students, social enterprise really means about empowering and educating our students and our staff to understand the social enterprise model and to be able to contribute in the longer term to the economic development of our local communities. It's a business model that's becoming more and more popular, and we here don't feel it's a short-term fad, we feel it's a long-term goal. And our motivation, our contribution must be to ensure that our students and staff are better positioned to make it all happen in an economic sense.
Of course, at Glasgow Caledonian University has obviously been very useful. It's the only one in Scotland at the moment. It was great, the mixture of organisations, from support bodies, from public sector statutory organisations, and then a big group of people from actual social enterprises who are delivering. I think it was a great way of kind of networking and information exchange as well. I found it very beneficial, and I think the other people on the course found it beneficial as well. But also I think the ethos of the university, in a push to deliver courses and deliver core skill building for communities and understanding exactly what local communities require at certain points in their development.
It is about policy, it is about the environment in which social enterprises work, it's about the challenges that are faced by social enterprises, it's about financing social enterprises, marketing them, evaluating them, monitoring them and measuring them. And we bring in experts through our partnership with the Social Enterprise Academy. They have access to the top experts in Scotland, so we have the top financiers, the top lawyers, people who have been in charge of large government support agencies. We have a diverse range of speakers, we have a fairly diverse range of teaching and learning methods, and in total, by the end of the programme, they've got a knowledge of how their organisation works within a larger framework.
I think it's a growing model. I think it will develop in Scotland. We have a big social conscience in this country. Let's capitalise on that. And I also think it's worth bearing in mind that in terms of opportunities overseas in developing countries, in terms of poverty alleviation, the multilaterals such as the World Bank, DFID and so on, these other organisations whose mission is to reduce poverty and alleviate poverty, they're looking to make these social entrepreneurs more active in these countries. They're learning what is the model, how does it work, where does it go wrong. So I think with people from this country being trained in this area, there are opportunities not just in Scotland but in overseas areas to put these mechanisms into force for developing a better world in general, not just in this country.
I think Glasgow Caledonian University actually is trailblazing, certainly in Scotland in this area. And I think that's probably an indication of how connected Glasgow Caledonian is to the wider community, because that's what's going on in the wider community, that's what the discussion is, so it's good. I mean, some of the things Glasgow Caledonian University is doing, linking up with Grameen, for example, which, I've seen some of that stuff, and that is very pioneering and could be very, very impactful in Scotland. So I think Glasgow Caledonian University is really connected in there. It's really, really good to see.
I mean, it's an interesting question whether the students reflect society or whether the students are driving society's interest in social enterprise. But it is evident that we notice quite a lot of the students have either issues, fair trade, helping HIV or alcohol, drugs. They do have particular topics they're interested in, which they see as being solvable with business ideas.
We have got a lot of students coming from social enterprise, and they have got issues that they want to deal with within education, and it's things like, well, how can we sustain what we do? We know we do really good things in our businesses. I believe, and I've got a passion as an employee about what I do in this social enterprise, but I want to keep it going, I want it to be sustainable. How do I go about doing that? And it is within our capability to investigate and inquire and find out how they can pursue sustainability.
Over the next few years, we'll see more interest in social enterprise amongst our undergraduates. I think it will be more recognised in the general business and social community for what it can do. and so there should be a gradual growth in that area of provision, I think.
Glasgow Caledonian is ahead here, probably in the UK just now, and full credit to it. And I think it's really interesting now because there's other players coming to the table. It's not just the entrepreneurs who are trying to run and develop and grow social enterprises, but social investors are starting to appear, you know. So actually now we can start to have a conversation with people who understand what we're talking about, understand triple bottom line accounting, so on and so forth. Governments are starting to make noise, banks and so on and so forth. So other players coming in make it easier for us as social entrepreneurs to get the right type of capital or right type of investment to grow our organisation.